Good morning everyone. I am Satya Priya, Assistant Professor from Department of EEE. So I am going to handle Basic Electrical and Electronics Engineering today. Today the topics we are going to see is Kirchhoff's law. So under Kirchhoff's law we are going to see KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law, and KCL, Kirchhoff's current law, and then nodal voltage method and mesh current method. So Kirchhoff's law. So who found this law is Gustav Robert Kirchhoff. Okay, so he was between 1824 to 1887. So he framed two laws. Under Kirchhoff's law, we are having two laws. So he framed this law for multiple loop circuits. Okay, so under multiple loops, we are going to have different voltages and currents in the loops. So we have to find the voltage and current in multiple loop circuits. He has framed the laws. So we have two laws under this. One is Kirchhoff's voltage law and other one is Kirchhoff's current law. Okay. So now we are going to see some circuit topologies. So what is a topology? Is nothing but how a circuit is laid out. Okay. So under what condition, under what combination an electric circuit is laid out is called a circuit topology. So a branch. So in a circuit, what we call as a branch? Branch is nothing but a single element in the circuit. Okay, so if we take any electrical element, a single electrical element, it is going to have two terminals. Okay, we naturally call those terminals as a positive terminal and negative terminal. Okay, so one element with two terminals we call as a branch. Okay, so next thing is a node. A node is the point of connection between two or more branches. So what we call as a node is nothing but if two or more than one electrical element meeting at one common point, then that common point is called as a node. Okay, so node is nothing but a junction point where more than one electrical element or more than one branch is going to meet at one common point. That common point we call as a node. Okay, same way, next one is loop. What do we call as a loop? A loop is any closed path in a circuit. Okay, so as any closed circulating path in a circuit we call as a loop. Okay, the current which is going on the current is going to flow only in a closed path. Okay, so number of closed path in a circuit or in a network we call that as a loop. Okay, so next one, a loop is said to be independent if it contains a branch which is not in any other loop. Okay, so that is that the elements in that loop is only concerned with one particular loop alone, then we call that loop as an independent loop. Okay, that the elements in the loop is not getting connected with any other elements in the circuit, then we call that loop as an independent loop. Okay, so loop is nothing but a closed path. If the elements are connected with only one closed path, then we call that loop as an independent loop. Okay, so now we are going to see Kirchhoff's current law. So Kirchhoff's current law, from the name itself we can identify it is going to deal with current in the circuit. Okay, so KCL, so it is going to state that Kirchhoff's current law states that total current or charge entering a junction or node is exactly equal to the charge leaving the node. Okay, so the Kirchhoff's current law is going to see what is that is at the junction point or node point, the sum of the currents entering or leaving will be equal to 0. Otherwise, total charge or charge entering a junction or a node is exactly equal to the charge leaving the node or the junction. Okay, so the charge entering towards the junction will be equal to the charge leaving the junction, or sum of all currents entering and leaving a node must be equal to 0. Okay, so that is at the junction point the total current must be equal to 0. Okay, so the current entering the junction point will be equal to current leaving the junction point. At the junction point, exactly at the point, okay, the total current must be equal to 0. Okay, so junction point I said already, it is a node point. That is, node point is nothing but two or more elements is going to be connected on that one point. That common point we call as a junction point or node point. Okay, so at the node terminal the total current will be 0. Okay, the sum of all currents coming and leaving the junction point will be equal to 0. So this is the Kirchhoff's current law. So next law is Kirchhoff's voltage law. So again from the name itself we can identify this voltage. This law is going to say something about voltage in the circuit. So Kirchhoff's voltage law. So Kirchhoff's voltage law states that algebraic sum of all voltages within the loop must be equal to 0. Okay, so inside the closed loop all the voltage drops must be equal to 0. Okay, so here I have considered an loop as ABCD. So this ABCD, this square loop, this is a square loop. Okay, so this may be a part of a circuit, a part of a network. Okay, so this ABCD is going to form a closed loop. So in this closed loop I have taken 4 resistors. I have connected 4 resistors. Okay, so between the loops, between the terminals A and B, so between the terminals A and B here a resistance R is connected. So I call this as a branch. Why? Because the branch, I said already, our branch is going to have only 2 terminals. So see here, this resistance is having one terminal at point A, okay, node point A, and other terminal connected at the node point B. So I call this resistance as a branch. Same way I have connected another element, our resistance, between the nodes node B and node C. So this is also again going to be a branch here, because this is also having 2 terminals. Okay, one end of the terminal is connected to node B and other end of the terminal is connected to the node C. Okay, so this is also again forming another branch here. Same way I am going to take another node point, okay, which is C and D. Okay, again an element is connected. I call this element as a branch because it is also having only 2 terminals. One end of the terminal is connected with node C, another end of the terminal is connected with node D. Okay, and the fourth element, this is also a resistor. Okay, it also has 2 terminals. So one end of the terminal is connected with node D, another end of the terminal is connected with node A. So see here, this A, B and C and D will be forming the node. Why? Because 2 ends of the elements is connected at one point. Okay, so more than one element is connected at one common point, then we call that point as a node. So here node A, the point A is going to be one node, and point B is going to be one node, and point C is going to be another node, and the last node is point D. Okay, so this is the 4 nodes, and we call these 4 nodes as a loop. Okay, this is called as a loop, and I call this as an independent loop. Why? Because these elements, these 4 resistance are not connected with any other elements apart from these 4 nodes. Okay, so I call this as an independent loop. It is these 4 elements is not having any contact with the other elements or other loops in the circuit. Okay, so I call this 4 elements as an independent loop here. So here, according to Kirchhoff's voltage law, voltage dropped across the loop will be 0. So here the voltage drop across the nodes A and B is VAB. Again the voltage drop across the node B and C will be VBC. Same way the voltage drop across the node C and D will be equal to VCD, and the voltage drop across the node D and A will be equal to VDA. Okay, so the voltage drops VAB plus VBC plus VCD plus VDA will be equal to 0. Okay, so this is our Kirchhoff's voltage law. Next one, so now we are going to see problems under Kirchhoff's voltage law and Kirchhoff's current law. So under the problems, for doing problem under Kirchhoff's current law, that is KCL, Kirchhoff's current law, we are going to use a method called nodal voltage method. Okay, so we are going to use a method called nodal voltage method. Same way, under Kirchhoff's voltage law, KVL, we are going to use a method called mesh current method. Okay, so we are going to see few problems under each and every topic. Problem under Kirchhoff's current law, KCL, I said we are going to use nodal voltage method. So for doing that nodal analysis, we are going to follow few steps. Okay, in that step 1 is choose the reference ground node. So first step, we have to select the ground terminal for the given circuit. Okay, ground terminal, ground node for the given circuit. Next step is assign node voltages to their other nodes. Okay, so naturally electric circuit is going to have a nodes, that is 2 or more elements will be, 1 or more elements will be connected with one common terminal. Okay, so now we are going to assume node voltages for the nodes in the circuit. Okay, so after selecting the nodes in the circuit, apply KCL to each other node each node other than the reference node. So apply KCL to each node. So after selecting the nodes in the circuit, we are going to apply KCL for the nodes. Okay, so every node in the circuit we are going to apply the KCL apart from the reference node. So reference node is nothing but your ground node. So you no need to apply the current law, Kirchhoff's current law at the reference node. So apart from the reference node, you have to apply Kirchhoff's current law for all the nodes in the circuit. Okay, so after applying the Kirchhoff's current law, express currents in terms of node voltages. So you are going to express that node voltages, so elements across, so each element connected with the nodes, you are going to express the currents across the elements in terms of voltages. Okay, so next one, after expressing the node voltages, now solve the resulting system of linear equation for the nodal voltages. So we are going to solve the, after applying the node voltages, we are going to form the linear equations. So from that linear equations we are going to solve, and we are going to find the nodal voltages in the circuit. Okay, so now our first step, I said we have to select the reference node. So where you have to select the reference node? So reference node, I said already, it is a ground node. So grounded terminal is going to be a 0 here. Okay, always ground terminal is 0. Okay, so where it should be there? The ground node, the grounded node, where we have to take in a given circuit. So see here, this is the circuit I have taken. Okay, so this circuit has source, current source. Since this I1 is one current source, same way I2 is another current source. Two current sources are here. Okay, and we have series of resistances elements connected here. Okay, so this is going to be one electrical network. Okay, so this electrical network have two current sources, and we have 5 resistance connected in series and parallel. Okay, so this is our given circuit. It may be any sort of circuit. So here where we are going to select the grounded node is in the return path of the circuit. See here, this is our ground terminal. So from current I1, the current will flow across, the circuit current will flow across this way and reach the resistance R, and few current will branch into this resistance. Again here the current will flow across this resistance, and few of the half of the current will branch in this resistance R. Again it will flow through this resistance R, and this current from I2 also some current will flow. Okay, for these all current, for the all current flow, the return path will be across this terminal. Okay, across this line. Okay, the return path of the current will flow across the closed loop. The closed loop should have one forward path and one return path. Okay, so this upper part will be the forward path for the current, and this will be the lower part or return path for the current to the starting point. Okay, so across this return path we are going to select the ground node. Okay, so this reference node is called as a ground node, where the voltage across this ground node will be 0. Okay, so the voltage across this ground node or reference node will always be 0. Okay, so next one, we have selected the reference node. So now we are going to see the problems. Okay, so problems under KCL. Okay, so now your first problem is apply KCL to find the nodal voltages V1 and V2 for the given figure. Okay, so this is your given figure. Okay, this is your given network. Okay, they asked you to find the nodal voltages V1 and V2. So from the question itself we can understand there are two nodal voltages. One is V1 and other one is V2. From the question itself we can understand. Okay, so they said already indirectly, they said in the given circuit only two nodes are there. Okay, so one node voltage is V1, other node voltage is V2. Okay, so we no need to find the nodal nodes in the circuit. Already they are given. You don't need, there will be no confusion of how many nodes in the circuit. Okay, so they have given you two nodes V1 and V2. So indirectly it is understood that there is only two nodes. Okay, node 1 is V1 and node 2 is V2. Okay, so now we are going to apply KCL here according to the steps whatever I said already. So for our first step is, so nodal voltage method we are going to do. So in that node is a junction point, I said already. We are going to select the nodes. Okay, select the nodes 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so in this node 3, third node is a reference node or grounded node. Okay, so and then the reference node voltage is 0 volt, I said already. Okay, so the reference node voltage is 0 volt. Okay, it is common for all the circuits. Okay, so not only for this circuit, for all the circuits wherever you apply nodal voltage analysis, the voltage for the reference node is 0. Okay, it doesn't change at any case. Okay, for all the circuits, reference node voltage will be 0. Okay, so now we are going to select the nodes 1 and 2. Okay, so consider node 1 voltage is V1 and node 2 voltage is V2. Okay, so node 2 voltage is V2. See here, I marked the nodes here. So this is a given circuit. In this I am taking node 1. So this is my node 1. I am taking this voltage as V1. Okay, same way I am taking this as a node 2 and node 2 voltage is V2. Okay, so only two nodes is given, V1 and V2. So I am taking this as node 1 and this as node 2. Okay, voltage across this node is V1 and same way the voltage across this node is V2. Okay, so V1 and V2. So apart from this, I am taking the third node, which is V0, which is the reference node. Okay, so the voltage across this reference node is 0. Okay, so this is our step 1 and step 2 is completed. That is, we have selected the ground node and also we have selected the nodes here. Okay, next one. So see here, I am going to apply Kirchhoff's current law for node 1. So now I am going to apply Kirchhoff's current law for node 1 separately and node 2 separately, and at last I am going to frame the linear equation and I am going to find the voltages V1 and V2 mathematically. Okay, so now I am going to take Kirchhoff's node 1 alone and I am separately, that is node 1 alone or separately, and then I am going to apply Kirchhoff's current law for node 1 alone. Okay, so what is our Kirchhoff's current law? Sum of entering current will be equal to sum of leaving current. Okay, so see here, Kirchhoff's node 1. So when I say node 1, the elements connected with node 1 are 5 ampere current source, okay, and a 10 ohm resistance and a 3 ohm resistance. So when I say this 5 ampere current source, this is connected. So this element, this is one element, 5 ampere current source is one element. It is also having two terminals. So one end of the terminal is connected with node 1, another end of the terminal is connected with the reference node. Same way, this 10 ohm resistance is one element. In this one end of this 10 ohm resistance is connected with node 1, another end of this 10 ohm resistance is connected with reference node. Same way, this 3 ohm resistance, this is also one element, and this element is connected with, one end of this element is connected with node 1 and other end of this element is connected with node 2. Okay, so now this will be my elements connected with the node 1. Okay, so now when I come for this 3 ohm resistance, this one end is connected with node 1 and other end is connected with node 2. So this element, 3 ohm resistance element, is common for node 1 and also to the node 2. Okay, so 3 ohm resistance is common for node 1 and node 2. So when you calculate the elements connected with node 1, this 3 ohm resistance will come along with node 1 also. When you calculate the elements connected with node 2, this 3 ohm resistance will come along with node 2 also. So 3 ohm resistance is common for node 1 and also for node 2. So now we have taken the elements, we have taken the node 1 elements, and we have found what are the elements connected with node 1 now. So now we are going to apply Kirchhoff's current law for node 1. So sum of entering current is equal to sum of leaving current, our law is. Okay, so our Kirchhoff's current law is what? Sum of entering current is equal to sum of leaving current. So see here, for node 1, okay, so for node 1, so where is the entering current? From the source. Okay, so I am telling from this 5 ampere current source, only from 5 ampere current source, this current is entering the node 1. Okay, the current coming from this source is entering the node 1. So after entering the node 1, the current is leaving to 3 ohm resistance and also to 10 ohm resistance. So entering current is only one current, which is from 5 ampere current source. Okay, so after from this node 1, okay, after reaching the node 1, the current 5 ampere is splitting across 10 ohm resistance and 3 ohm resistance. So it is leaving from the 3 ohm. Okay, that is, sorry, it is leaving from node 1. Okay, so this currents are leaving from node 1. Okay, so entering current is only 5 ampere current, so I have written 5 here. Okay, so entering current is only 5 here. Okay, now I am going to write sum of leaving currents, so equal to the current across this 10 ohm resistance will be, Okay, I is equal to V divided by R formula, Ohm's law. I am going to apply just Ohm's law here. Okay, by using Ohm's law I am going to write the current equation, okay, in terms of voltage. Okay, so during the steps in that itself I said that is we have to write the current equation in terms of voltage. So see here, the current across this element 10 ohm resistance is I is equal to V divided by R formula. When I say V, this voltage will be this element, this 10 ohm is connected between two nodal voltages, that is node 1 and also to the reference node. Okay, so when I take this 10 ohm resistance, it is connected between two node voltages, that is node 1 and also the reference node. So I am writing my current equation as I is equal to V divided by R. In that V will be V1 minus 0 divided by 10. Okay, I is equal to V divided by R. In this V voltage, okay, when I say voltage, the voltage is connected, this element is connected between two voltage, that is voltage node across node 1 voltage and also the reference voltage. Okay, so node 1 voltage we don't know, so I have written V here. We know the reference node voltage as 0, so I have written directly V1 minus 0 divided by R value, resistance value is 10. Okay, same way, plus another one element we have, that is our 3 ohm resistance. So this 3 ohm resistance is connected between node 1 and also the node 2. Okay, so node 1 end is connected with node 1 and other end is connected with node 2. So again same formula, Ohm's law formula, I is equal to V divided by R. So when you come for voltage, it is between voltage of node 1 and node 2, that is V1 and V2. So I am writing the equation as V1 minus V2 divided by R value. R is equal to 3 here. Okay, resistance value is 3 here. So V1 minus V2 divided by 3. Okay, so I have applied Kirchhoff's current law for node 1. Okay, so now I have applied Kirchhoff's current law for node 1 and I have framed the current equation in terms of voltage. Okay, so I have framed the current equation in terms of voltage. So my equation will be 5 is equal to V1 minus 0 divided by 10 plus V2 minus V1 divided by 3. Okay, so now I am going to simplify this equation to form the linear equation. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to take LCM between 10 and 3, so I am getting as 30. So I am going to multiply this value to the numerators. So my numerator will become 3V1 plus 10 into V1 minus V2. Again I am going to multiply this 10 within V1 minus V2. So I am getting 5 equal to 3V1 plus 10V1 minus 10V2 divided by 30. Okay, again I am going to take this 30 which is in the denominator to the other side of my equation. So 5 into 30 is equal to 3V1 plus 10V1 minus 10V2. Okay, so now I am going to segregate all the constant values on one side and all the numerical values, all the V1 and V2 values on the other sides. Okay, I am going to keep V1 and V2 on one side and all the constant values on the other side of the equation. So 13V1 minus 10V2 is equal to 150. So this is my linear equation for node 1. Okay, so same way I am going to frame the equation for node 2. Okay, so for node 2, okay, so for node 2, now I have drawn the node 2 alone. Okay, I have drawn the node 2 alone. I have drawn what are the elements connected with node 2 separately. Okay, so the elements connected with node 2 is 10 volt source, okay, 1 ohm resistance and this 5 ohm resistance and this 3 ohm resistance. So I said already this 3 ohm resistance is common for node 1 and also for node 2. Okay, so now and this 5 ohm resistance is connected between node 2 and also to the reference node. Okay, and this 1 ohm resistance is connected between node 2 and to the voltage source. Okay, so this voltage source is indirectly connected to node 2 through 1 ohm resistance. Okay, so this voltage source and this 1 ohm resistance are indirectly connected to node 2, that is one end of this 10 volt source is connected to node 2 indirectly. Same way, one end of this 1 ohm resistance, this end of this 1 ohm resistance indirectly connected to this reference node. Okay, so these are the elements connected with the node 2. So now again we are going to frame the equation by using Kirchhoff's current law. So when I say Kirchhoff's current law, our law is going to be sum of entering current is equal to sum of leaving current. So when I say entering current, there is no entering current here. Okay, so because only from the current source we have a current, apart from the current source no elements will be supplying the current for us. Okay, naturally only from the current source we have a current supplying for the circuit. As there is no current source connected with node 2, only voltage source we here is present in this node 2. So sum of entering current I say as 0. Okay, as there is no current source here, okay, I say the current sum of entering current is 0. Okay, so all the elements apart from the current source will be consuming the current. It will not supply the current. Okay, it will always use the current for that operation. Okay, so only the current source will supply the needed current for the circuit. As there is no current source, I say 0 equal to, okay, so this one, first I am writing for the elements, I am framing the node equation for the element 3 ohm resistance. So when I say 3 ohm resistance, it is between the L nodes, node 1 and node 2. We are applying KCL for node 2. So I am writing the nodal equation as V2 minus V1 divided by 3. Okay, so same way Ohm's law equation only, I is equal to V divided by R formula. When I say V, it is between two voltages, two nodal voltages. So here this 3 ohm resistance is connected between node 2 and node 1. So I say it is V2 minus V1 divided by 3 plus, okay, so I am going to write the equation for second one, that is second element is my 1 ohm resistance. It is connected between node 2 and an voltage source. Okay, so this is connected between node 2 and this voltage source. Okay, so I am going to write my equation as V2 minus 10 divided by 1. Okay, same way my third element, this 5 ohm resistance is between node 2 and the reference node. So I am going to write the equation as V2 minus 0 divided by 5. So now we have framed the node 2 equation. So sum of entering current is equal to sum of leaving current. So our equation will become 0 equal to V2 minus V1 divided by 3 plus V2 minus 10 divided by 1 plus V2 minus 0 divided by 5. Okay, so now 0 is equal to V2 minus V1 divided by 3 plus V2 minus 10 divided by 1 plus V2 divided by 5 here, because this is 0, so I am rewriting this term alone as V2 divided by 5. Okay, again now I am going to take LCM for 3, 1 and 5, so this will become 15. Okay, so now I am going to multiply in the numerators, okay, the corresponding values. So it will become 0 equal to 5 into V2 minus V1 plus 15 into V2 minus 10 plus V2 into 3. Okay, so this is our equation. Now I am going to take this 15 to the other side of the equation. So 0 into 15 will become 0. Okay, so that this terms which is on the numerator, I am going to multiply this 5 with all the terms. Okay, so with this term I am going to multiply by 5. So with the second term I am going to multiply by 15, and the third term is already with 3 here. So my equation will be simplified as, so 0 into 15, which is equal to 5V2 minus 5V1 plus 15V2 minus 150 plus 3V2. Okay, I am going to simplify further again, that is 0 equal to 8V2 minus 5V1 plus 15V2 equal to minus 150. Now I am going to segregate as V1 and V2 on one side and the constant terms on the other side of the equation. So minus 5V1 plus 23V2 is equal to 150. So this is my linear equation for node 2. So we have framed the equation for node 1 and also for the node 2. So now we are going to simplify this using, okay, so now we are going to simplify this node 1 and node 2 equation, and we are going to find the values for V1 and V2. So we are going to use Cramer's rule for simplification. Okay, so we are going to frame the matrix and we are going to use the Cramer's rule for simplification. So from node 1 and node 2, I am going to frame this matrix as, that is, I have written the coefficient value. So this one, 13, minus 10, minus 5 and 23 will be the coefficients of V1 and V2 from the equation 1 and 2. So our equation 1 will be, so our equation 1 is 13 V1 minus 10 V2 is equal to 150 here. So the coefficient of V1 is 13 and same way the coefficient of V2 is 10. Okay, so I have written this matrix is 13 and minus 10. Okay, same way my node 2 equation will be 5V1 minus 5V1 plus 23V2 equal to 150 here. So my coefficients are minus 25 and 23. So this is my coefficient matrix. Same way, this is our I matrix, which is V1 and V2. Only we have two terms, so V1 and V2 I have written here. This is equal to our 150 and 150. Okay, so the constant term which is on the other side of the equation. So this is our matrix. So we have framed the matrix from the linear equations of node 1 and node 2. So by Cramer's rule, we have to find the determinant matrix. So delta value will be equal to 13 minus 10 minus 5 and 23. So if we have to find the determinant for this, so 23 into 13 minus of minus 5 into minus 10, you will be getting the value as 249. So this is the value of the determinant as 249. Same way, now we have to find the value of del V1. Okay, so for finding del V1, that is in the coefficient matrix, you have to replace this column matrix, that is Q matrix, 150 and 150 in the column 1. To find V1, you have to replace this column 1, coefficient matrix column 1 with 150 and 150. So del V1 will become 150 and 150 minus 10 divided by minus 10 and 23. So this is our del V1. Now we have to find the determinant for this del V1. So you will be getting the value of del V1 as 4950. Same way del V2, the same initial matrix. Okay, here in the coefficient matrix, you have to replace this column 2 with 150. This column 2 minus 10 and 23 must be replaced with 150. This 150 value here. Okay, so again when you replace this, you will have the del V2 as 13 minus 5, 150 and 150. Okay, so when you find the determinant value, you will be getting the value of del V2 as 2700. Okay, so now V1, nodal voltage V1 is del V1 divided by del. So we know the value of del V1 and we know the value of determinant del. Okay, so we have to divide the values del V1 and del determinant, and we will be getting the voltage del V1 as 19.8 volt. Okay, so the voltage across the node V1 is 19.8. Same way, V2 value, V2 is equal to del V2 divided by del. Okay, we know the value of del V2 and also the determinant value. So when you divide those two values, you will be getting the value as 10.84 volt. So V1 is equal to 19.87. Same way, V2 is equal to 10.84. Okay, so these are the nodal voltages of V1 and V2. Okay, thank you. We will continue in the next class.